Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta, Sig will all crumble because they don't innovate like Kel-Tec. The future is Kel-Tec. If the future is Kel-Tec, I think I'd rather have Skynet take over. Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is an easy one. What is your favorite mouse gun? You know, them tiny, tiny little guns that people like so much because you can just stick them in your vest pocket. In fact, one of the choices you could choose is like a Colt vest pocket. Lots of clones of those too. Others are C-Camps, the little NAA revolvers. The little NAA Guardian, the little 32, I think that would count as a mouse gun. So would probably the Beretta Bobcat, the little 22. All of those are mouse guns, little tiny guns that look like they're so small and cute, a little mousey could use them. So I want to hear what your favorite one is. An LCP might even qualify. But, you know, they're tiny little guns you can easily slip in a pocket and they'll disappear. Some of them you can even hang from a chain around your neck. They're so small. So I will start us off. I think everybody knows my favorite mouse gun. It's the C-Camp. The C-Camp 380 is the most amazing little mouse gun I've ever seen. I love that little thing. I have one that's got a Punisher on it that a lot of people think is bad taste, but I'm like, it's funny. It's so tiny and little, it's got a Punisher on it. I think that's pretty cute. It's satirical. But that's just the best little mouse gun you can get. And the 32 and the 380, no difference in size. And it is literally the smallest gun that is actually what I'd consider a functional gun that you'll ever shoot. I mean, if you've got one of the little cars, you'll be like, oh my God, I thought the car was small until I held the C-Camp. If you think the Tomcat from Beretta is small, wait till you see a C-Camp. They're tiny and you can get it in 380. Although I will tell you one thing, when I first bought it, Larry C-Camp himself told me before I take it to the range and shoot the 380, make sure to put Band-Aids around my trigger finger. And I didn't pay attention because, you know, I'm not that bright. And I went shooting with it and I thought something was buzzing my elbow. I thought I had a fly landed on my elbow because I felt something. And I slapped my elbow and I had blood all over my hand. And I'm like, what the fuck? That little gun, after the first shot was extremely painful. But after that, I was numb and didn't really feel it. And it split my finger wide open. And blood was just running down my arm and dripping off my elbow. And that's what I was feeling. The blood going through the hair on my arm and dripping. So I was like, oh, that's why he said put a Band-Aids on your finger beforehand, so you don't split your finger open. And I sent him an email saying, look what it did, it split my finger open. And he said, well, that's your fault because I told you not to do it without Band-Aids on your finger. And he was right. And now he's passed away, unfortunately. But now let's go over, see what other people got to say now that I gave you my long story that was way too long. Colt Jr. is my current favorite, says Gummy Wuzzle. Yes, that's one of my favorite ones you've got too. I've seen it and it looks really nice. Well, I don't know. The Smith 22 is pretty nice too. But Boss Hug says she's a picky eater, but her trigger is the best in the business. The CW 380 from Carr, the Minnie Mouse of guns. Those are awesome little guns. I've always wanted one of the 380s. Never got one. But always wanted one. Kel-Tec Commando says, when California bans Glocks, Kel-Tec will fill the void in a few years. Well, it have to be. Well, they probably could fill a void. I mean, they break into pieces, so they're easy to pack into a spot, into a space. That's for sure. It will dominate the U.S. gun market. Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta, Sig will all crumble because they don't innovate like Kel-Tec. The future is Kel-Tec. If the future is Kel-Tec, I think I'd rather have Skynet take over. Django, hush. See, he didn't like that Kel-Tec talk. John Mandrick said, NAA 22 long rifle, mini revolver. I've got a little 22 mag one. I really like it. I think it's very cool. I want a belt buckle one. You know how they used to make them in belt buckles? I want a belt buckle one. Some of them, it's just the gun has got a little attachment to it that holds it in place in its belt buckle itself. I want one of them belt buckles. I want it in 22 Magnum, though. That's what mine is. It stings a little to shoot it, but it's cool. Mr. Furley said, Sig 938, smallest I can think of that I'd own. What about the 238? What's wrong with the 238? You think you're too good for the 238? Mr. Furley thinks he's too good for the 238. Yeah, let's let him know what we think of that. Well, I don't like it very much at all. That's what I think of it. Like Jack McBrower from I will tell y'all what I really think of you. And then he goes on telling how much he loves them and loves working there. Officer Tater Hater says best mouse gun you can accurately fire without hurting NAA mini wheelie. C-Camp hurts after a while. Well, C-Camp hurts right off bat if it's 380. The 32 is a little more controllable, but they're both just like, they're both not the easiest things. I think the C-Camp's easier to hold on to. Johnny Mandrick said, why are we arming mice? Well, why wouldn't we? Mice need to be armed. They are like the ultimate prey animal. In fact, Sherman brought me one last night. Every time he gets out, he brings me a mouse. He's like, here, you're such a shitty hunter. I never see you catch anything. Have an extra mouse. And I'm like, stop killing the mice. But he doesn't. And he gets out all the fucking time because he knows how to open doors. And then he got out, and I couldn't figure out why. And it's because Turnip pushed the screen out in the dining room. Asshole. Those two cooperate. Like Sherman will get up on the counter and shove meat off onto the floor for Turnip. And then Turnip opens doors and windows for Sherman. That's like, you all got to cut it out. Goddamn little pet mafia in our house. Go Shadow said, would the 2mm pinfire revolver be a mouse gun? Most definitely. A mouse could actually use that. Edgar Cortez says, I own a North America Arms Guardian in 32. I haven't seen very many people that know that gun even. But I have stopped carrying it because it misfires about 3 times out of every 50 rounds. Not reliable. Well, that sucks. I would figure out what's wrong with it and try to get it to where it works reliably, because that's a cool little gun. Although I don't know if it'd be a gun I'd carry either. If I was going to carry something, it would either be a C-Camp, because I do trust those. They're little hammer-fired guns, so they're very reliable. But if it wasn't going to be the C-Camp, I think I'd get the little Car 380. I think I'd get me one of them. Begar says the Astra Cub. Haven't seen one of those in years. And hopefully I won't ever again. But they're cool little guns. Mike White, 2-8 Advocacy, says, it's my only mouse gun, my Beretta Tomcat. And have you shot the TUIs in yours yet? No, they're still sitting right here. I have not made it to the range. Today was a nice day. It was sunny. It was warm. But I had to go to the gun shop because of Clinton Barella. I had to mail, even though I do love his pasta, I had to go mail his Rock 5.7 to him today. So I had to go down to town. I had my going to town shirt on a minute ago, but I took it off to get on the treadmill because it's not nice running in polyester shirts, especially when it's warm. If not, get to it sooner than later, please. I'm going to do it as soon as I can. I'll try. I might even shoot some in the what the fuck's this thing we're giving away? Pico, the double super secret Pico giveaway. Sean Bane said Ruger LCP. That's definitely a little tiny gun, and really kind of revitalized the tiny gun market, I think. Practical Bacon said closest thing I have to a mouse gun is a 22 short Rossi revolver my grandpa left me. It works. I'll say that much about it. Well, that's something to say about it, but that's an heirloom, so we don't want to be risking an heirloom. State Hats. Ruger EC9S, underrated but comfortable carry, cheap. I'm not that familiar with the Ruger models. Like their dad saw one in the gun store case, and I saw it and I was like, well, that's a cute little 380, and it was their 9mm. It was smaller than I expected. Go Shadow said pinfire revolver 12+1 fit in one pocket. Well, yeah, it would definitely fit in your pocket. Fit in your little, like the little pockets up here, the little ones that are not even real. They got like the stitching in them so you can put a pin there so you don't really have a whole pocket. It'd fit in one of them. Gummy Wuzzle said, honorable mention, Taurus Judge for hunting mice. Well, that is not a mouse gun. That's a gun you might hunt mouse with, but why would you want to hunt mice? There's no meat on them. You know how many of those you'd have to skewer to get any meat? Like if you were going to make meatballs out of them, you're going to need like 5 mice per meatball. And that's if they're big mice. John Heasley, my LCP Max 380. LCP once again, but this one time it's the big one. Then we got Steel and Wood Outdoors chiming in, said Bodyguard 2, way better than my LCP Max. Full 4-finger grip, which is why I don't know if I would count that as a mouse gun. Mouse guns usually only have like a 2-finger grip. You can get 2 fingers on it other than your index finger. It's usually a thumb and 2 fingers. If you can get all your fingers on it, I don't know if I technically consider it a mouse gun or not. Unless you got like little baby doll hands. Maybe you got little baby doll hands. I don't know. If so, I'm not making fun. I'm just saying that would make a difference. But that's going to do it for us today on the topic of the day, the shooting the shit with Yankee. Thanks everybody for weighing in. How about you out there in YouTube land? What do you think is the best mouse gun, your favorite mouse gun? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to weigh in on any of these topics, come to our live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. Sometimes on Wednesdays we do them at 7. I don't know if we're going to keep doing that or not, but maybe. So come on in. Let us know what you think. Stick around for the open chat afterwards where you can talk about whatever you want. We'll get started here in a moment with the Shooting Left of Center podcast, so stick around. Otherwise, thanks everybody for coming. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.